Hello, everyone. Today is June 3rd, 2009, and it's the East Coast Economic Update. I would like to thank everyone before I begin for your responses, both with me and against me, on the last three videos. I think it's important that an open discussion happens with all of us. I don't have all the answers. I don't even may have the right answers. But from what I've observed, this is what I've come up with. And I believe honestly that between my theories and other people's theories, there's a truth somewhere in the middle. Now, I may be somewhat right, or I may be absolutely wrong, but this is the reason why we're all on YouTube, to figure things out. And no man or person is smarter or has more information than any other. So just wanted to say that, and I want to thank everyone for the discussions that we've had. So I will now I'm going to go and do this whole thing. So what we have right now is I honestly believe, based on what I said back in February the 8th, that the crash has begun. The markets since May 1st, both gold, silver, oil, and treasuries have shot up. The first three is good for you if you're holding commodities. The last one is bad for everyone, because that means the dollar's worth is worth less. Presently we have the dollar dropping almost a penny a day almost in the last 3 days. It is now around 78, 79. Last time this happened, don't forget, back in April of last year, when the dollar had reached almost 70 cents, and Peter Schiff's prediction may have come true if it wasn't for the quantitative easing that was done later in the year. But don't forget that when it reached 71 cents, oil prices had jacked over $102 a barrel, and then shot up further between people hoarding oil, assuming it's going to go to $2.50, as well as just that the devaluation of the dollar was happening. And this is what's happening now. There seems to be a direct correlation, from my perspective anyway, that as the dollar had rose in the fall into the winter, oil prices had dropped dramatically. Now the reverse is happening. The dollar is dropping and the oil prices are rising, and I think there is a direct correlation with that. And I think that also some other familiarities that I'd like to keep you informed of. And of course, I'm going to list a whole mess of stuff here on my more info box. I would strongly suggest that you watch or read what I'm telling you, because otherwise it would take me 2 hours to go through everything that I've seen on a video. Okay, so the dollar is dropping, treasuries are rising, and Timothy Geithner is doing what Henry Paulson did last year, which is run to China and beg them to start buying treasuries. The reason why treasuries have held down this long is not because China's been buying. China has not been buying significant amounts. I don't think they've been buying any. I think somebody's been buying it in their stead, in their name, just to keep the bond markets happy and calm. But that's my theory and strictly conjecture. But the interesting thing is that they are buying gold, copper, silver, and aluminum. Also, another article that's going to be here is that China's production has kicked in, but the awful question of where all this production is going is never asked. I would present to you that those shirts, t-shirts, shoes, clothing, and cars are going to the Chinese people themselves. They have a 50% savings rate, and I had a theory way back when I think I had said it a couple of videos ago, I don't remember where, but my theory was that eventually China would wake up. It's similar to what Peter Schiff said, about the 3 Chinese in the island, and I'll put that here. But to abbreviate, basically the Chinese will figure out that they don't need America to continue its economic force. They have plenty of population between them and India, another high savings rate country that's coming out into an industrial strength country, and they sell it to each other. So the Bloomberg article is very interesting. It does not say where this production is going, whether it's going to the United States for sales, which I know that it's not. because we're spending less and less. Why would we ever make a request to bring in more stuff into the United States? So it begs the question that it's going somewhere else, and I think it's going within their own people. I think the beginning of the end is absolutely happening this year. I would agree with Gerald Celente, of course, that I think that by the time this comes to fruition where everyone agrees that there's a problem, it will be probably 2012. I cannot tell you, in other news, I cannot tell you when the mixed metal standard is going to happen, but I know it is going to happen. And when it does, my theories will be proven right or wrong. We'll see what happens in regard to my previous ones. So in other things, so now we have oil and bonds going. And I think, based on guesstimations, that $12 trillion that both the Federal Reserve and the United States Congress has spread out has been spent buying its own bonds. So we're eating our own tail, in other words. We started, I think that most of the money, if it got into the system by March, which I believe it did, has reached and flooded the system back in April, and now the realization that they're out of cash. In fact, Mr. Obama said on C-SPAN, will be also here, that we are out of cash. So it's interesting to find where we're going to be going in the next 60 to 90 days from this point. I think that by July, August, we will see a significant beginnings of real cracks, and similar to almost exactly what happened last year. And I think around the time of Rosh Hashanah again, which is what happened with Lehman Brothers, which would be middle of September, I believe, without looking at my calendar, I think this is where all hell will break loose. Now, of course, they can reverse it like they did last year by dumping cash, which they're out of, or going to a mixed metal standard. If they do that, they will save the economy. Well, they'll save the banks. They won't save us. And then there's the question of whether or not we will be screwed, which I think we will be, once we make it to this mixed metal standard. So that's where we're at right now. I will also place over here, a fellow who's a PhD in economics from Berlin. I refer to him as the German guy, euphemistically. His name, I believe, is Berenger. He's very good, and he explains how, through charts, a little heady for some of you, and even me, I had to watch it twice. But what he says is incredibly amazing in regard to what has happened to the economy and where it's going to go. I would strongly suggest you watch it, and I also strongly suggest you subscribe to him. He doesn't do videos very often because mostly he does his videos in German. He's willing to do it in English if a number of us press him, and that's what happened the last time. I think myself and a few other people emailed him asking him to please do an economic update. I do speak a little German. It's horrid, my German ability, my German language ability. So he had done this video that I'm going to have here. Sorry, I haven't had enough coffee. In English, and I think you're going to find it very educational. I would like to once again thank everyone. I will be doing a religious video, so for those of you guys who watch me for economics, brace yourself. All right, folks, peace.